From the Louisville Bats, Todd Frazier is with us now on the Zone. Todd, how are you, sir?
Hey, what's up, Big Daddy?
Not much, man. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I am fantastic. The Louisville Bats today, unfortunately, dropped the game to Syracuse. The team had swept Syracuse earlier this week and late last week and over the weekend, and then 3 of 4 from Columbus, but a tough one today. You guys certainly had your opportunities today to pull the game out.
Yeah, that's just one of those days. You just got to throw away and just come back the next day. So, you have your opportunities, but you got 140-some games to play, and those are going to happen. So you just throw it away and come back tomorrow strong.
Is it easier to throw it away when you know that this team has been able to come through in a lot of those opportunities this year? I mean, you guys have swung the bat so well, and pitching and defense has been better. But you guys know that in opportunities that were there, getting runners over, getting them in, you guys have come through in those situations before. It didn't happen today, but does that make it easier to say, you know what, it's just one of those days. We'll come back tomorrow. We'll continue playing the way that we've been playing all year.
Yeah, exactly. So it's understandable. Our lineup's great. Everybody's healthy. You can't really complain about the lineup. So you just got to keep doing what you're doing, and just understandably know that it's going to happen again.
And those 3-run home runs can come anytime. A 2-1 game earlier this week to what it was Syracuse turns into a 5-1 game just like that. I mean, the team right now, you mentioned the Bats, leading the league in home runs, leading the league in doubles. I mean, there's no doubt that even if the pitching isn't there, you guys could slug your way to a victory. I mean, you guys got a number of different elements on this team right now, which is one of the reasons why you guys are playing so well.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about it, but if you think about our lineup, you got to be honest with yourself and with the team. It's a great lineup. So, pitching wise too, and we get guys moving up and down with the pitchers, with the staff coming up and down. But at the same time, they're all great pitchers, so you're not really worried about that either. So once the pitching comes through, and then the hitting just take care of itself.
Todd Frazier, our guest here in the Zone, as Louisville fell earlier today, 4-3 to the Syracuse Chiefs, but still playing pretty good baseball overall. Do you like the difference in the National League ball, the American League ball? You get the DH sometimes, and you get the National League play as well. Do you like one more than the other?
Yeah, that's a good question. I haven't really thought about it, but it makes it different. It makes the pitcher got to hit. It's just a different knack, different ball game. So. I guess it makes it different, So, understandably, you're used to the DH, but at the same time, different doesn't hurt that often. So we got some pitchers that can hit, and we had a couple hits. I think Tom Cochran got one, and Steve Jackson hit the ball hard one time. So I mean, it's kind of fun, to see what they got.
Do you ever help them out in the batting cage?
I actually give a couple of my bats to use,
Really?
And if they get the bunt down, I give them I get excited, because they use my bat or they got a hit. So it's like, all right, man, maybe I'll use that bat next at bat so I can get a knock.
It's got good luck on it. I mean, because baseball players are not superstitious at all.
No, not at all. I think in any sport there's like number one in not being superstitious.
No doubt about it. There is no superstition in baseball whatsoever.
They're the worst. We're the worst at that stuff, man.
What's your crazy superstition? This could have been a Final Four, but it's brought up now. So what's your crazy superstition?
Yeah, honestly, I try not to be that superstitious, but God, let me think.
Do you wear the same underwear during a winning streak, or breathe out of your eyelid?
It could be something as simple as like it's not. I say it's simple, but it's kind of weird because we're weird dudes.
Right.
Like wiping off the batter's box at a certain area. Like I like wiping it off at the top of the batter's box like once or twice just to. All right, I'm here. This is my box, kind of. If I don't do that, sometimes I think maybe, hey, if I did that, maybe I would get a hit. It's just weird. We're all weird. We're all a bunch of weird dudes, and that's just the way it goes.
I used to be a little league umpire, and one of the things that Major League Baseball players do is look. The box is kind of just especially the box on the inside part of the plate that's closest to the plate. It's kind of just a guideline of where to stand. Whereas little league, look, you'd better be in that box. But you see it all the time in the big leagues, and the guys that are batting leadoff, sometimes they'll go up there and they'll sweep that back line away with the brand new chalk. I was a little league umpire, and I had a kid come up and swept away the back child. I'm like, hey, whoa. This ain't the big leagues, buddy. All right?
Yeah. You got to get in on him a little bit, man. That ain't right. You know, you're not going to get that white chalk back on there again, so you're in trouble. So
right.
Now he's screwed either way.
I know. That's why I was like, what are you doing? This ain't the big leagues. But we see that all. Why do guys do that in professional baseball? They go right to that back line and just sweep it away.
You know, so some batters like to get back as much as possible. You know, the guy's throwing hard, or you know, they like to just time it. They think they get a better timing back there.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. You know, it's just a nuisance for catchers, batters, hitters. I mean, umpires. It's just one of those knacks of the games where it could cause a brawl during the game. You never even know. So I mean, it's something that just people just get crazy with.
How often do you adjust your spot in the box? I know a lot of people talk about adjusting hands on the bat, adjust your leg kick, adjust maybe, the advance of the weight. Do you adjust where you're at in the box too? It's
only the first when I get in there, like. Before the first pitch even thrown, I'll dust the top part off once or twice. I want to have good footing when I land on my left foot, my front foot there. So I wouldn't do it again, though.
Okay, all right. So is it? but it's kind of you're in there. That's your box. You want to take it. You're sweeping the dirt away to let the pitcher know it's you.
You think you're hot stuff a little bit. You know, dust it off. Like, all right, brother, let's go. Bring that stuff.
Todd Frazier is our guest, and he's been bringing it with the Louisville Bats all season and last year as well. This team though is packed with corner infielders and outfielders right now. I mean, Francisco, yourself, Alonso, Hermida, Valleca, Dorn, Griffin as well. I mean, there's a number of guys that can play a lot of positions. Is that tough to try to get the number of bats and try to get in there and get your work in when everybody is trying to rotate through?
You know, it's a good question. You get your at-bats in. That's no problem. You know, it's just a matter of where they want you to play. So for me, like some days if I'm playing left field, maybe I'll get about 10 to 15 ground balls at third just before I go in the outfield. Or vice versa. If I'm playing first base, I'll try a little in the outfield, you know. So, I mean, ultimately, you'll get your time no matter when you're hitting or when you're hitting in the order of batting practice, but it's just ultimately you'll get your stuff in. It's just a matter of getting their bats, and that'll happen. That'll come. Todd
Frazier, our guest here in the zone. It's a Thursday afternoon. The Louisville Bats drop a tough one today to the Syracuse Chiefs and drop 2 of 3 in that so far in their road trip to Syracuse in the series. The start of the season, you've talked about it as the start of the season being tougher than obviously the middle of the season. A lot of hitters will tell you that it's tough to get off to a good start because of the timing and a lot of that stuff that takes place. This start of the season was certainly better than last year's, but why is it? Why do we see pitchers or hitters, and maybe even yourself specifically, do you start to get better as the season goes along? May, June, July, you really start to heat up. Why is that?
You know, I don't know. It's a funny question. You know, you start off slow. I mean, some guys start off well. I mean, maybe it's because of the cold. You know, out in the Pacific Coast League, it doesn't get that cold, so maybe it's tough getting used to the cold. I've been playing in cold all my life, so I mean, I'm still not used to it. But at the same time, you know, when the heat starts rolling in, the ball starts going a little further. So it's just a matter of, I think, a little weather and a little, little things get in your way, maybe even your head. You know, it's just your thought process. So whenever it happens, it does. But at the same time, you got to know your first 100 bats not going to kill you if you're batting 200. You know you can come back and do what you got to do.
And the old saying is hitting's about timing and pitching is about disrupting timing. So maybe that has as much to do with anything.
Exactly, and it's what have you done for me lately as well.
Well, no doubt about that. And you've done some good things for the Louisville Bats lately, and you in particular, your numbers have been better in May and June. Is that a product of the cold or the heat, or is there something else going on with you that maybe you've improved on, or is it just, hey, stick to the grind and eventually your numbers are going to be there? The back of your baseball card is what it is.
Yeah, it's crazy because that's the same thing happened last year. I started coming along in June as well. I don't know what it is. You know, you try to get the right mindset in every time you go to hit, and it's just I'm more relaxed. You know, I'm taking a couple strikes sometimes, you know, knowing that I can still hit with 2 strikes and not worrying about a thing. When I'm in the box about, you know, I got 2 strikes out and now he can throw whatever he wants. That's fine. I'll throw one hand out there and get a blue single to right field. So it doesn't matter to me as long, you know. So I mean, it's relaxation and pitch selection, and it's just doing what you got to do to survive.
With the pitch selections, I hear a lot of people talk about that as well, and obviously it's a huge part to your approach at the plate. What keys do you look at? What are you looking at to understand what pitch is coming in the selection? Is it zone area? Is it actual what type of pitch it is? Curve, slider? Fastball, those things.
You first and foremost, you always think about fastball comes first. And if you don't think that, then, you're not going to be playing minor league or major league ball for a long time at all. And then you pick your zone. And whether you think, I'm going to pick fastball away. You get your foot down early, and then you adjust to the off speed. You see that breaking ball coming, and most of the time, sometimes, it's funny. Sometimes when I was struggling last year, I went to a 3-0 approach, meaning that 3-0 either it's in my spot or I'm not swinging, and that kind of helped me out a little bit.
Does it help out to go to an 0-2 approach? Maybe just the exact opposite of that?
No, I mean, you could. I don't think that would be a good idea. Just understandably that you're going to swing at something that's even close to the vicinity of the plate. You know what I mean? So whether it's 3 or 4 inches off, you're probably going to swing because that guy might frame it. You might get struck out.
True.
But like I was saying before, the 3-0 approach is actually not a bad approach, knowing that you're looking for one pitch, one zone, and then when you get with 2 strikes, you can just adjust. So you're just looking for that one pitch in the one zone that you want to be in.
And Todd Frazier, our guest here in the zone, we discuss what's going on with the Louisville Bats and him as well on a Thursday. All right, there's a lot of talk about LeBron James, and not to speak to any specifics of maybe examples of anything that you've gone through, but just as an overall mindset. We talked about this yesterday, and I talked about it on my show with people deal with personal issues all the time, off the field, off the course, away from the show here. But a lot of times in this society and in the way we view our athletes, we almost don't want them to be human, because when they take the field, we want them to forget everything that's happened and be professional. And there are some guys out there that have that ability to do that. How tough is it, though, when you look at maybe some personal issues outside of the field? Not any specifics or anything, but can that affect the play of certain players, of different individuals, of you, of me, of anybody else, of LeBron James, when things are going on off the court, off the field, that it would be hard to separate yourself when you're on the field from those things that are going on mentally?
Yeah, people don't understand that the second part of the game is all mental, and it's something that people don't understand. They think, oh man, he's going through a tough time, he's not hitting. Well, maybe there's something else behind it. Maybe he's got family problems or something else. But people really don't understand that. What I try to do for the 3 hours or 2 hours I'm playing, I block everything out. I don't worry about nothing. I know I think I'm the man out there. I have no problems, and that's you got to have a positive mindset. I've learned that from a young age, not to block everything out. When the game's over and you go home, you just worry about whatever you got to worry about. But at the same time, it's actually, I think it's actually helpful to be playing, because you could block everything out. There's not a worry in the world. And then when the game's over with, you go back to what the problem is. But I think it actually will help you rather than hinder you. And
I've seen that with my own life, things that are going on away from here at work. When I get on the air at 3 o'clock, I'm kind of away from that. I get into the zone. I'm talking sports. I'm joking with Andy. I'm talking with you. I get 3 hours of just a release. Some people can use it like that, but then there are some times to where things could be so overwhelming that it just, all right, it's killing me today.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, man, how'd you go 3-4 today and do all this when you got all this? Well, I wasn't worrying about it at the time. You got to block some things out. It's mental, and some people can handle it, some people can't. It's just the way of the world,
Todd Frazier, our guest here in the zone. All right, Todd, Final Four time. You ready?
Let's go.
All right, you still like the Heat to win?
No, I don't. I like Dallas to come from behind and take over.
That would be an amazing story if that happens. Best of 3 series. We'll see who wins the next 2 in that best of 3 series. Okay, what's on your DVR?
I had One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest on my DVR.
One Flew, really?
So I like Jack Nicholson. Nicholson, right? Nicholson, I love him to death, and that's one of my favorites, actually.
I didn't know if there was any series that you're a diehard that you can't miss.
No, I like Las Vegas. I can watch that every day of the week.
Okay, perfect. Bryce Harper was in the news with his blowing a kiss to a pitcher. Have you ever done something like that or showed up a pitcher in any way?
Back in college, when I don't remember what happened. No, I do actually. We're playing Georgia Tech, and Rutgers. We never really got along. They usually beat us 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 3, and I hit a grand slam. I threw the bat in the air. I was talking all this crap to the other team and the pitcher, and when I came back home, when I hit home plate, I was talking crap to the catcher, Weeders, his name.
Oh, nice, yeah,
catcher
absolutely.
for the Orioles. Me and him didn't really get along back in the day whenever we played him. I guess it was just one of those things where you just butted heads. And I remember there was like 15, 20 scouts there, and they're all videotaping, and some came up to me, man, you're crazy. I was like, hey, you can take it or leave it, whatever you want to do.
Have you seen or talked to Weeder since then?
No, I haven't. I haven't. I talked to a couple of his teammates, though, but I haven't seen or talked to him.
Do you think there might be some Yadier Molina, Brandon Phillips action if you get into the box against the Baltimore Orioles?
I think it'll be fine. I think it's swept under the rug.
Just making sure. I don't want anything crazy to happen, Todd. I'm looking out for you, man.
If you see it happen, you'll be the first one to know, hey, I talked to him about it. There's some problems.
I know exactly why that's happening.
No, but I think we'll be fine.
All right. Last but not least, do you enjoy more being the interview subject or the interviewer? I've seen your videos with you and Devin Mesoraco. Which side of it do you like?
I enjoy being what you do, man. I enjoy being the interviewer. And just giving the questions out there. The one thing I got to work on is not saying and all those little things that you can't say it when you're talking. But
a lot of times you don't even realize you're saying it.
Exactly. So that's what I got to work on that, and then I think I'll be fine for my next interview. You'll have to critique me on that.
I definitely will. I'll give you what I think of it. But I'll just say this: stay out of my profession, okay? Let's make a deal here, Todd. You stay out of trying to get into broadcasting, and I'll stay out of trying to get into baseball.
All right, sounds good.
You deal with that. I'll deal with this. All right, Todd. I appreciate the time, brother. Good luck tomorrow, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, Jace. I'll talk to you later.
All right. There is Todd Frazier joining us.